My name is Lauren Mansell. I'm a physical therapist that specializes in lymphedema, oncology, and pelvic rehab. So I'm here to show you how to wrap your arm today if you have any swelling or fullness or congestion in the arm after breast cancer treatment. This is for educational purposes only. Please seek help from your local certified lymphedema therapist. They can really help you. So, for today's demonstration, we're going to, this is my arm that's a little bit swollen, so we started with a deep diaphragmatic breathing. We did some manual lymph drainage. We're just massaging that arm. Anytime you can get your arm overhead and you can just bring some of that fluid down. These are really fantastic things that you can do at home to get your arm feeling better. So, for wrapping, good clean arm, nice and moisturized. Always kind of stroking up. We're going to take some stockinette, so this will be your base layer. And you've got a little thumb piece that's cut out. So we'll put on the stockinette first. So just kind of put it on as you normally would, on the glove. And then you're going to take the thumb piece out, you're going to fold back because we're going to wrap your fingers first. Whenever you're wrapping, you do want to wrap with the snail, as we say, because it's easier to wrap that way as opposed to this way is very difficult to wrap. So I will drop these probably 4 times while showing you. And just know that dropping controls is part of learning how to do this. So when these are finger wraps, so just to kind of show where we're at, we've got some tape that's already pre-set out. We've got 2 finger wraps. These are the 1-inch. If you have a 1-inch finger wrap, you may need 2 of them. Or if you have a 2-inch, you probably can get away with 1 roll. Then we have the stockinette, of course. We've got 3 different sizes. Again, work with your local therapist. I'm just showing you what I do. We have 3 different sizes of the short stretch bandages. So we have a 6 centimeter, an 8 centimeter, and 10 centimeter. We've got some foam to make your arm cone shaped. So usually that's padding right around the wrist and then also a little bit here at the elbow crease. Because the way that the physics works is that if you wrap something consistently, that's in a cone shape, that if it's all the same pressure, which you'll see my wrap is very light, then fluid will go from the narrower circumference up to the wider. So if you're in a cone, it'll go from the smaller to larger circumference. So again, we want to make this arm into a cone, so when we're wrapped with that same pressure, the fluid goes from here to here. I'm going to massage that. So back to wrapping. We are going to use, so when you're wrapping, you want the palm to stay open. The first wrap is the most difficult. So you almost want to use the table or something to kind of secure that. So I'm going to go around twice. Again, I'm not pulling this. So is it pretty good to see for the picture? So what you're doing is you're bringing over the top, you're going around right at the base of the nail, and you're just going around overlapping about 50%. And if you notice, I am not pulling this tight. I am just creating a wall. Then it's going to go back the opposite way. And then I can hinge. So I'm always hinging from furthest away from the finger that I'm wrapping. And you'll see how I'll change that when I'm doing the thumb to my pointer finger. So you're doing about a 50% wrap on that. These wraps come off very easily. It's very rare that my patients say they woke up and I still have my finger wraps on. All right. I'm going to start this one and do as much of the middle finger as I can. We also get really, I wish they changed the color on them because the white they get really dingy and gray very fast. So. All right, so I have a little bit left, so I'm just going to do a couple around. The biggest thing is to make sure that there is no pain. There's no pain or dysfunction. So when you get to be a huge shape, don't take your skin. you get to start using whatever you have near you to help hold. So your hand, your legs, friends, whomever. So as you can see, I've got, my palm is open and I've got a pretty decent, I've got a little bit of showing there, so I'll wrap that on the next one. And it's very comfortable. I can move, it's not tight, it's just creating that wall. So for the second one, I'm going to make a few smaller pieces of tape right now. So for the second one, remember I'm going to hinge further away. So I'm going to hinge from here to get to these two fingers. Does that make sense? So now that I have something to tape onto, you can tape to start. And go right around the base of the finger. Again, practice, practice, practice. Work with your certified lymphedema therapist. Reach out to groups. This wrapping will get your swelling down fast. There is no substitution for a really good wrap. And then finally ending there with the thumb. There. And then kind of look for any kind of open areas. So right there is one. And then there's the one I missed earlier, right between digit 3 and 4. All right. Then for the end of it, I'm just going to kind of wrap just on top, because you can get a lot of swelling right here in the dorsum of your hand. All right, so there's the hand. It's open on the palm. This is going to get dirty. I wish, again, they need to make them gray colored or black or something. So this is a nice, comfortable wrap of the hand. Then you're going to take that stockinette, you're going to pull the thumb right over. And then you kind of just look at your arm, and again, you want to make that cone, because the physics of this is you have the same compression or the same wall that is in that cone shape. So right here, I go in a little bit, and right here. So we have two small pieces of cotton. Cotton does make it a lot more comfortable, but I do try to get my patients to just have, before I go, the foam and the cotton is much more comfortable. But to start with, we will do just the wrap over the softener. So then we have the 6 centimeter short stretch bandages, and this is where it kind of gets a little fun, where you're going to have to, you could try taping, so that's what we're going to do. Because it's the starting that is always the most difficult. So around twice. I do herringbone or herringbone or figure 8 wrapping. So what you're going to do is constantly be making an X. So I went around twice. In there. And then you start to make that X. See it? Crisscross. And again, I am not pulling this tight at all. I am letting the bandage do the work for me. X. X. And I dropped. So that's number 1 of number 4. So if you drop it, sometimes if there's a lot, you might want to re-roll. I'm just going to keep on going. All right. So there is my Xing. So the way the fluid will come out when you're wrapped, it's amazing. And what's nice with this herringbone pattern or this crisscross is it'll lock on itself. A lot of times, when I was first starting this and I did a spiral, patients would say, oh my gosh, I left and they fell right off. And I was like, that's great. That means the swelling came down. But it's really annoying when you want the swelling to come down, but you want it to keep working for you. So using this pattern, it locks on itself. And notice, I can move, it's comfortable. We'll do the exercises that we do with the compression after we finish our wrap. So that was the 6 centimeter. If you notice, I have over 50% or so of overlap. Now we're gonna take the 8. So always start with some tape. Duct tape is my favorite, but we've got paper tape here today. And you're just gonna go over that very last one. And you're just gonna start your crisscrosses. And then remember, I did want to put some foam or cotton to make my a little comfortable here and just to make the whole, that cone shape. So right back to the X. Move in any which way, shape, or form. As long as it doesn't hurt, you're fine. Or as long as, like, if your fingers start to turn blue or purple. Oh, look, those are the indicators of don't do that. Or don't keep the wrap on if it's painful or too tight. All right. There's the next bandage. Again, it's nice and comfortable. Then, we're going to need some more tape. Remember, always with the snail. Going to tape that down where you left off. Keep going with those X's. So again, use what you have at this table. It's a little bit harder. I want to be as smooth as possible. Again, I'm crisscrossing in that crisscross pattern. As high up into that armpit as possible. Possible, but comfortable. All right. Got a perfect weave on that. If, say this was right here, what you could do is you could fold it back so that you are taping on top of your arm. Try not to ever make the tape go all the way around because that can create too much pressure and a bottleneck. So see, you should feel really comfortable. And then you could do some of your exercises. So now that I have wrap and it's compressed, you can kind of feel, like I think if anything, where I could have done a little bit more compression is in the wrist here. So this is, you know, I've been doing this for, gosh, 2004. So I've been doing wraps for 15 years. So even with wrapping for that long, you can find differences and you can always make improvements on your wrap. So again, as long as it doesn't hurt, and you should have good blood flow. So your fingertips should not be blue or purple. If you press down on your nail, it should go white and then back to pink. These are all good things. There's no pain, there's no numbness or tingling, no nervy feelings. So you can do like finger taps back and forth. You can do big clenching, opening and closing the hand. You can do called a supination, pronation, but you make a bowl and you pour it out. So these are all things that you're using your muscles to pump that swelling out of your arm. You can do bicep curls. And then you can do some nice range of motion. Most importantly, straight forward and then out to the side for abduction or like a snow angel pattern. Whenever you're hanging out and you're bandaging, so just get active, go do stuff, try to wear the wrap comfortably while you're doing your regular activities of daily living. When you're hanging out and you're reading or you're at home, just try to prop that arm up. If there's any time you can get the arm up on the back of a chair, on the back of your couch, If you've got pulleys, over-the-door pulleys are a beautiful way to both stretch and create that elevation that just helps that swelling come out of the arm. And then again, just like in the breast and truncal video, try to draw that swelling, especially out of here, get it down to the other lymph nodes that are still working very well, down into the inguinals here, and then also across to the other axilla. That is a wrap.